What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Multiverse Monologues. This week, we're going to be covering quite a bit of news. The Oscars happened this week. James Gunn is confirmed to be directing Superman Legacy. Ben Affleck did a Hollywood Reporter article. Zack Snyder dropped some interesting tidbits. We got some Daredevil Born Again news. And of course, we're going to wrap up the show by talking about Shazam. Hello, I'm Ethan, and normally who joins me on these weekly shows is Ben Darkseid, but Ben is unable to record this week. So of course I have the man who's number 2 on the call sheet and number 1 in our hearts, Micah Hatt. Micah, how are you?
Wow, I'm doing great. You know, I'm always honored to be called number 2. Everything's great. I'm a number 1 in your heart. That's enough for me, man.
Yes, that's enough for all of us. And
you know who else was number 1 in our hearts? Let's start off this show by giving a little in memoriam. Lance Reddick.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Great actor. He was in, you might know him from John Wick. He was the guy at the hotel. You might know him from Horizon Zero Dawn, the game. He's been in lots of things.
He's famous for The Wire, and he was famously,
White House Down.
For any Lost fan, he was in 4 episodes of Lost. So yeah, it's always sad too.
He was also Thomas Wayne in the Batman Unburied podcast.
Which we listened to.
I listened to quite a bit of it. Yeah, it's really good. So if you guys want to listen to, he's also in Destiny 2. If you guys are big Destiny fans, he was Zavala. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Pretty main character, I hear. So yeah, if you guys want to go see what the hype was about with Lance Reddick, you can support his stuff with Batman and Buried podcast. He's got the games, the movies, all those things. He was a great guy.
Yeah,
he died at 60 years old.
Really tragic, and this is never fun to hear, especially with beloved actors. But I believe he's going to be in the new John Wick.
He will be 4 next week.
So
John Wick 4. Go see that too.
I think Keanu Reeves.
I hear it's a 9.8 on IMDb.
Wow.
9.4.
IGN gave it a 10.
Insane movie.
Some are saying that is the best action film of all time.
And did you hear that the directors and John Wick, or not John Wick,
Keanu
Reeves,
yes.
That's his name. They're stepping back for a little bit, so they're not going to be making the 5th one for a while. So that'll be interesting to see when they'll produce his
20 years. We'll have 20 old years Keanu later, with a cane.
Man, Keanu Reeves is so old too.
We've seen him kill people with pencils. Have we seen him kill anyone with a cane?
With a cane? Maybe in the 3rd one. I've seen the 3rd one. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah,
anyway, let's get into the news.
It's never easy to heel turn from someone passing. So we're sorry. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Riddick family. And yeah, he will be missed, and it sucks to see this, but. Yeah.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about the news. You want to talk about the Oscars first? I got a couple things to say.
We actually like to start these weekly shows with a question of the week.
A question, okay.
But this is the first time since we restarted doing these weekly shows. We have a review on Apple Podcasts to read. We have a review.
All right.
Let's read this.
Who's this review from?
This review is from none other than Pogo Donuts.
No way.
AKA Parker Duncan, who is Micah's roommate.
Wow, he's sleeping in the other room right now.
We're recording in Micah's apartment. If you hear some cars going by or some...
the ambient noise.
The ambient noise, yes. The background noise of cars going. This review comes from Parker Duncan, and he says, great discussions, 5 stars. These guys have amazing discussions. The chemistry Ben and Ethan share is very apparent listening to these well thought out conversations.
Well thought out. Yeah, we take notes and everything.
So of course, he says Ben and Ethan. So Micah, I'm sorry. You do not get any recognition here in the review.
That's all right. You know, I can't win them all.
You can't win them all, no. But if anyone listening wants to go give us a review on Apple Podcast or subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, we would very much appreciate that. But with that being said, yeah, let's dive into the news. We're gonna start with the Oscars that happened this week. And if you want to jump around the show, we're going to be reviewing a lot, so I'm going to leave chapter titles down below. So if you want to skip around, go ahead. But Micah, the Oscars.
Yeah, so main highlights, Black Panther and The Batman were our big comic book movies that made it to the Oscars. Black Panther got 5 nominations and The Batman got 3. Let me see here. Black Panther won Best Costume Design, and The Batman lost Best Sound. That was the like notable things. The Batman didn't win anything, unfortunately. I think it should have won a couple. It wasn't even nominated for Best Picture, which understandable. There were a lot of really good movies this year.
There were.
Everything Everywhere All at Once swept at the Oscars this year, and it is totally deserving. That movie is fantastic. Going into the Oscars, I was thinking that Everything Everywhere would sweep, as well as All Quiet on the Western Front. And what do you know? The Whale also did really well. Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Coming back out of nowhere. So, yeah, Oscars. Pretty good. What do you think, Ethan?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. Did you have any chance to watch any of the speeches?
I saw nothing.
Okay.
Highlights. What do you got?
Highlights. Jimmy Kimmel had a funny opening bit where he mentions, Adonis Creed, Michelle Yeoh, and Andrew Garfield, who he says, "Oh, and Spider-Man's here," and the crowd doesn't applaud for him. I just showed you the clip a minute ago. It's very funny.
Joke and decide you want to come up here and get jiggy with it. It's not going to be easy. There are a few of my friends you're going to have to get through first. You're going to have to get through the heavyweight champ, Adonis Creed, before you get to me. You're going to have to do battle with Michelle Yeoh before you get to me. You are going to have to beat the Mandalorian before you get to me. You are going to have to tangle with Spider-Man. You are going to have to...
It's very on par for Andrew Garfield, who, by the way, is not the werewolf. But no, the Oscar acceptance speeches were awesome. KQ Kwan, his speech was awesome. You should definitely go check that out. There's a clip, I'll throw it in right here. But
my mom is 84 years old, and she's at home watching. Mom, I just want an Oscar.
It's really cool. And then he points at the camera and says, "This is proof. If you have dreams, follow your dreams." So it's really cool. He was talking to us, Micah.
Jamie Lee Curtis's was really good too.
Right.
Yeah. She, so if you don't know, her parents were both Oscar winners. Jamie Lee Curtis's mom was in Alfred Hitchcock's The Psycho, which is considered the first horror movie. And I forget who her dad is, but he also is an Oscar winner. And then another good speech to look at is Michelle Yeoh's. She's the first Asian Best Actress winner of all time. I think that's crazy.
Super cool. Yeah.
Super cool to see that.
And I mean, come on, there was no doubt in our minds that Everything Everywhere would take back everything and every award from this show.
All at once. Yeah. And much deserved. I know Ben, when we recorded our last podcast, he was very upset that Top Gun Maverick didn't sweep in every category. But I don't know. Everything Everywhere, to me, I thought was I wouldn't say much better film, but I did enjoy it more than I enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. And I thought both were really good movies, but I think if I had to give these awards somewhere, they would go to Everything Everywhere. And you didn't see Top Gun Maverick, am I correct? I have not seen Top Gun, either of them. I like to. It's on my list. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I know that I should watch them. I hear that they're both very good movies. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that Everything Everywhere All at Once deserves everything I got.
Something else.
Did you see The Whale?
Yeah. I did not see The Whale.
No, I didn't either. But best makeup. I hear Brendan Fraser's. So he did fatten up for the movie, but they also gave him a fat suit on top of it, and apparently he looks really fat. Good. Yeah, he does look really fat.
I heard it's a very heartwarming movie or inspirational movie. I know Brendan Fraser's speech. He mentions the movie how he's like, whatever you do, just keep going. I think it's about an obese whale type character, I guess. But no, I didn't watch it because IMDb had a little little things that warned me about
parents' guide.
Yeah, the parents' guide was a little sketchy, but it's nowhere severe in any way, so maybe I'll check it out down the line. But
feeling a little sinful one day, and
if I'm feeling a little bad, I'll go watch The Whale. But another award show that happened this week, the Raspberry Awards, the Razzies, if you will. The only thing I have noted from that is Jared Leto wins Worst Actor of the Year for his portrayal of Dr. Michael Morbius.
Undeserved, but I'll let it slide. At least he got an award.
He got something, right?
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else to add on to those?
On the Oscars, one more thing I just saw on the Wikipedia page is that Michael J. Fox wins the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award. That's pretty cool. He's been doing so much for the Parkinson's disease fight, and just to see that is awesome.
It is. We always love some Michael J.
What do you want to do next?
We're going to roll into James Gunn. He tweeted this week, and I'll just read the tweet word for word. He says, "Yes, I'm directing Superman Legacy to be released on July 11th, 2025. My brother Matt told me when he saw the release date, he started to cry. I asked him why. He said, 'Dude, it's Dad's birthday.' I hadn't realized. It has just been a long road at this point. I was offered Superman years ago. Initially, I said no because I didn't have a way in that felt unique and fun and emotional and gave Superman the dignity he deserved. Then, a bit less than a year ago, I saw a way in many ways concerning around Superman's heritage, how both his aristocratic Kryptonian parents and his Kansas farmer parents inform who he is and the choices he makes."
So, how do you feel? We're not going to have Henry Cavill. It's confirmed we're not having him. What's the Superman movie going to be about? Is it a new Superman? Is it an aged Superman?
I think they're going young.
They're going
younger. Yeah.
Like young? Are they going?
I don't think like young, but I think probably 20s young.
Are they going to twist it in some way? Because we've already had 3 iterations of Superman.
Right? A lot of Supermans.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Supermans on movie and even more on TV. So what differences do you think we're going to see here? Are we going to see more of his young life, like Smallville kind of? Or are we going to see more a twist? Are we going to see more of like a what's that movie called? Braveheart. No, not Braveheart. Not Braveheart. So What's that movie called? Brightburn. Or is it going to be more like a Brightburn Superman movie?
Explain how Brightburn Superman would look.
Directed by or produced by James Gunn, is kind of like Superman if he grew up with bullies, and then the bullies influenced him to be a bad person, and then he's like a 10-year-old unhinged and goes on a murder fest. Pretty great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, highly recommend it.
So you want Superman to go on a murder fest?
Oh yeah. But like a 10-year-old Superman.
Well, that's definitely not the direction James Gunn will go.
Well, he might. I mean, I could see him doing something more like that because he made that movie. That was his baby child. So,
but if you wanted a murderous Superman, you would just roll off with Cavill because Cavill's already done the deed by killing General Zod. So. Yeah. I think he said he wants a new Superman who is someone that we can look to, like that hero that we want to be. This is going to be
the new Iron Man movie?
New Iron Man, for sure.
Yeah, to launch this new career, they need to, this new DCU, they got to start off strong, they got to start off safe, but have something in there that isn't as safe, very risky, that just propels them to keep the audience interested. We want to be intrigued by what a DCEU could offer, and let's see it, James Gunn. Let's see what you got.
Let's see it. And this feels like James Gunn initially said in this tweet, he said he was uncomfortable about the idea of doing this, and it is very different for James Gunn to direct Superman, because I mean we've seen him direct iconic teams like the Scooby-Doo gang, the
Guardians of the Galaxy,
the Suicide Squad, the Peacemaker crew. So Superman is a very personal story, very different from what he's done in the past. But I mean, we know he can nail heart. We know he's got that heart down. We've seen it in Guardians 1, Guardians 2. We're going to see it in Guardians 3 for sure.
Going to see it in Guardians 3.
Yeah, so he knows how to get character right. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah. I don't know about, we don't have a cast or anything, right? Nothing. We do have a cast? No.
Nope. No cast
yet. We don't have a release.
I mean, we just found out he was directing it.
Yeah.
Release window in this tweet, he says July 11th, 2025 is when it's coming.
Oh, that's right. 2025. Yeah. So we got, what, 2 years?
Yeah, that's pretty soon, actually.
That's a quick turnaround.
We're going to blink and miss it. Superman's going to be out.
He's going to be faster than the speeding waistband.
Something else, this is relevant to not only the news this week and to James Gunn, but to our podcast coming out on Monday, Idris Elba.
That's right.
Yes, he's in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Go check that podcast
Greatest
out
movie
Monday.
Of all time.
Greatest
10 out of 10.
movie. 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Greatest
you really
got
to watch that podcast. Tune into that one.
Yeah, tune into that podcast because the movie's just legendary. Fantastic film, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I would say it was top one movie of all time.
I'd agree. It goes right up there. It goes Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, Morbius, and then Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
My top 3 of all time.
We get to talk about the what do they call it? The Marvel Knights Cinematic Universe.
The Marvel Knights Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Check it out.
But anyway, Idris Elba says, "I think the DC universe will become unstoppable under the watch of James Gunn."
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable, just like a juggernaut.
That's what they said about the last couple of DCUs.
I know. The DC's always resetting, and we never know what we can actually latch onto.
Do you have a dream casting for Superman this time around?
No. Same thing with Fantastic Four. Whenever someone's like, "Who's your dream cast?"
Yeah.
I don't have anyone written up. I want the studio to take it under their own wing and just do the best they can to cast, because I don't know Superman, man. When it compare me to James Gunn and the other people at DC, I know Superman very little. I know him very surface level. I've seen him in the movies and some of the animated stuff. I'm no judge of Superman.
Do you think that Robert Pattinson, the Batman, is our Batman going forward, or will there be another Batman?
Elseworlds, yeah. You know about James Gunn's new announcement, Micah?
No, tell me about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the whole slate?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh my goodness. Let me pull up the whole slate then.
The whole slate. All right. So, because we've got a couple Batman universes going on right now. We've got the Joker, which is a different Joker from the Joker in the Batman. Joker 2 is coming out soon. When is that coming out? That's coming out this year? Next year? Joker 2 is coming out October 4th, 2024. Next year. Folie à deux. I think that's how you pronounce it. And that's got Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix. Those are a different Joker and Harley Quinn than what we'll see in the new one.
Right.
So is the Peacemaker going forward? Is that going to be in?
It's unknown. Yeah.
Unknown.
We'll talk about it more when we get to our Shazam spoiler section.
Yeah.
But maybe, who knows? We don't know yet. But Micah here. So me and Ben, if you guys are listening and you're curious, me and Ben did a whole in-depth discussion of James Gunn's announcements. So we won't go too deep here, but I'm just going to read them for Micah.
Just give me the rundown. So the rundown.
Creature Commandos. We have Waller. We have Booster Gold, Paradise Lost, Lanterns, which is Green Lantern's HBO Max True Detective style show. That'll be really cool. Then we have Superman Legacy, The Authority, Batman the Brave and the Bold, which will be introducing a new Batman actor and a new Robin actor.
So we'll have 4 Batman universes going at the same time.
Right.
Because there's the TV one too. There's the Harley Quinn show.
Right.
The animated show.
Right. Yeah. So, and then Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and then wrapping it all up is Swamp Thing. So
nice.
Yes.
Swamp Thing, the lowest rated DC. Oh no, I'm thinking of Man Thing.
You're thinking of Man Thing.
I'm thinking of Man Thing. Swamp Thing's different. So there's all of these different things going on in the DCU. Do you think that James Gunn can pull it off?
It's going to be a lot.
All these new concepts. These are all new things to the DCU. Nothing is familiar.
These announcements I just read you too. Also, he said is half of the first chapter.
Wow.
So this is half of their quote unquote phase 1. We'll see if he's overworked. We know that. Kevin Feige, they started MCU phase 1. They did 6 films. This is already a lot more than that. And this is half of that.
Yeah, that shows, movies, everything. That's
something else really cool about the James Gunn universe is they're going to be spread throughout video games, animation, and live action.
Wow.
So they want to tell a cohesive story with the same actors.
They're going full Matrix on this.
They're going full Matrix.
Because Matrix did the same thing back in the early 2000s. They had a game that was canon, and you had to play it to know what happened between, I think, 2 and 3. And then the Animatrix was also canon, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's probably books and stuff too. All
right,
huge.
Let's roll onto that. So Ben Affleck did a Hollywood Reporter article where he talks about starting a new company with Matt Damon, and where their first film will be Air, which is
looks awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see
the
that.
Michael Jordan movie. In the interview, he talks about his relationship with Michael Jordan, how he's played some cards with him. He talked about how he loves golf. He talked about how open he is about alcoholism and the effect that had on his career and his relationship. Yeah, this is Ben Affleck, yes. But we don't care about any of that. No, we want to know what Ben Affleck had to say about the DC universe. Isn't that right?
That's what I want.
Yeah, so who cares about his alcoholism?
Who cares about shoes?
Yeah, and shoes and Michael Jordan.
Cards.
Come on. So let's start off with this first. What's the order? Yeah, what's the order you got him in? What's
I've
the
got
first
the
picture?
as opposed to.
All right, let's start with that too.
Okay.
Let's start with as opposed to. So go ahead and read that excerpt.
Read that paragraph?
Yes.
The Justice League experience, the fact that those stories became somewhat repetitive to me and less interesting. Yeah, I did finally figure out how to play that character, Batman, and I nailed it in The Flash. So watch The Flash, because I guess that's the best version of Batfleck. For the 5 minutes, I'm there.
Oh.
It's really great. Oh, okay. So maybe not.
Who knows? Maybe he's
Batfleck is there for
exaggerating a little.
maybe. He seems like he's in there for quite a bit in the trailer, but maybe that's all we see of him.
Maybe. I mean,
It's really great. Apparently, a lot of it is just tone. You got to figure it out. What's your version of the person? Who's the guy that fits what you can do? I tried to fit myself into a Batman, and by the way, I like a lot of the stuff we did, especially the first one, talking about Batman v Superman. What are your thoughts on Batman v Superman? You like that one? I liked it. Ultimate Edition was really good.
Yeah, the extended non-theatrical.
Why did you say that name?
Yeah. Why'd you say that name, Martha? No, whatever. I think that's over criticized. That movie. I enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my goodness, I love this to death. I do. Yeah, I'm not going to dive too much into it because Ben's going to listen back to this and get mad at us. But I'm not a Snyder fan. Are you a Snyder fan? I know we appreciate his work, but I'm not dying to get more of this.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything outside of his DC work. I don't think. There may have been one or two movies I've seen that were Snyder, but I liked Justice League, Snyderverse, the Snyder Cut. I liked the Man of Steel movies. I like Batman v Superman. There wasn't much I wasn't upset with. I didn't see Justice League, the other one, like the non-Snyder
the Justice League.
The Justice League. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm a fan of the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
sad to see it go.
Speaking of Snyderverse, this is also part of the interview where he talks about. The interviewer asks, isn't that because the Snyder fans are so intense online? So this is rolling off, and he talks about the Snyderverse and what it was like being a part of it. And he says, say what you want about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's my highest rated career movie. I've never had one that went from nadir to pinnacle. Retroactively, it's a hit. All of a sudden, I was getting congratulated for the bomb I'm in. But I was going to direct a Batman movie. And the Justice League made me go, I'm out. I never want to do any of this again. I'm not suited. And that was the worst experience I've seen in the business, which is full of some crappy experiences.
But he didn't use crappy.
He didn't use crappy. But Ben, you're not Ben. Micah.
That's all I am to you. Just a replacement.
This is
I remember them talking about Ben Affleck directing a Batman movie, and it was a bit shocking to me because of how the performance of the Zack Snyderverse was going at the time. It was so bad. Everyone hated Justice League. And
so did he. Yeah,
and so did he.
It was the worst experience of his life.
It's so surprising to me that Snyder League was so good compared to. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but it's compared to what it was.
Yeah,
just how awful they made it for that first iteration.
I know and we'll talk about the reshoots here because he goes into talking about Josh Whedon. But I think it's funny that he says this is the worst experience he's ever had because I don't know. Infamously in our Marvel movie marathon, we got to watch Daredevil, where Ben Affleck played Daredevil.
And that wasn't as bad.
That was horrible. Yeah. So I guess
Daredevil was awful.
So I guess that experience was better. All right. He goes on to say, it broke my heart. There was an idea of someone, Josh Whedon, coming in like, I'll rescue you and we'll do 60 days of shooting and I'll write out a whole new thing around what you have. I've got the secret. And it wasn't the secret. That was hard. And I started to drink too much. I was back at the hotel in London. It was either that or jump out of a window.
Wow.
And
he's not talking about Daredevil here?
Or Batman. I think he's talking about himself. And I just thought that this isn't the life I want. My kids aren't here. I'm miserable. You want to go to work to find something interesting to hang on to rather than just wearing a rubber suit. And most of it, you're just standing against the computer screen going, if this nuclear waste gets loose, will ... Oh, that's pretty funny. That's a funny quote right there. If this nuclear waste gets loose, will... whatever. That's fine. I don't condescend to that point or put it down. I just got to the point where I found it creatively not satisfying. Also, just you're sweaty and exhausted. And I thought, I don't want to participate in this in any way. And I don't want to squander any more of my life, of which I have a limited amount.
And then Snyder League came out and he made all this money and now he's happy again. So that's good. I guess money does bring you happiness, Ethan.
I guess it does.
Brings you out of the depths.
Here, then there's a quote where he talks directly about Justice League.
You want me to read that one?
Yeah, go ahead and read that one.
But not Justice League?
Yep.
So he says, you could teach a seminar on all the reasons why this is not how not to do it, ranging from production to bad decisions to horrible personal tragedy and just ending with the most monstrous taste in my mouth. The genius and the silver lining is that Zack Snyder eventually went to AT&T and was like, look, I can get you 4 hours of content. And it's principally all just all the slow motion that he shot in black and white. And one day of shooting with me and him, he was like, do you want to come shoot in my backyard? I was like, I think there are unions, Zach. I think we have to make a deal. But I went and did it. And now Zack Snyder's Justice League is the highest rated movie on IMDb. Oh, his highest rated movie.
Highest rated movie.
Yeah, not the highest rated.
I think he's wrong about. I think he's wrong about that.
You sure?
Yeah.
What other good movies has he been in? He's been in like, what, Good Will Hunting?
I think Good Will Hunting is higher than that.
Good Will Hunting's sitting at an 8.3.
Yeah, Snyder Cut is an 8. So... he's wrong.
Ooh. Oh, well, he wasn't a lead in Good Will Hunting. He was a secondary, right? Because that was a Matt Damon and Robin Williams movie.
Yeah, he wrote it though.
Oh, okay.
But I guess you're right.
I guess.
Could you say he's a lead though in the Snyder Cut? I know
sure. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
He gets the gang back together.
He kind of just stands on a gun and shoots.
Well, he gets everyone. He's like, I need people.
I'm making a team. It's got something to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
All right. With that, you got anything else to add on to that?
Nope. Sounds, it doesn't sound like he wants to direct anything anytime soon. Doesn't look like he's very passionate about being in another DC project for the next few years, at least.
Next few lifetimes.
Yeah. He's going to cherish his lifetime.
I particularly like the quote where he says, "This isn't the life I want." And doing the Justice League made him realize that. But let's roll over to Zack Snyder. He dropped a Darkseid tease this week.
Darkseid?
I know you saw it, correct? You showed me on Wednesday.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
We don't know what it is.
Like
Darkseid.
Darkseid from
Justice League?
Yeah, from Justice
League. We don't know
League.
what it is. He teased like coming April, whatever.
Man, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Let me see it. What are you talking about? Tell our viewers and me.
I was hoping you'd remember because I just have a little screenshot of it.
Darkseid.
He said hashtag full circle.
Snyder teases transmission from Lord Darkseid in new video. No, I did not see this. 14-second clip he posted. Hashtag full circle.
Save the date.
April 28th through 30th, 2023. When is the DC, what is it, so the Super Bowl or whatever, the DC Fandom? Oh, that was in January.
Did it already happen?
Last year, and it will not return. So guess
they're
not.
done.
Yeah, they're done.
James Gunn, that's the first thing he next when he walked in.
He's getting rid of that. So
it.
Zack Snyder, he's got something coming out from Darkseid. Darkseid. From April 20th through 30th.
Which does nothing but throw fire on the flame
yeah, because what is canon anymore?
We don't know.
I think what they should do is they should make one final movie. I don't know if Flash is going to do this, but one that just throws everything out the window because this is the last one.
That's the goal of Flash.
That's the goal of the Flash?
They're going to reboot everything and they're going to pick and choose what they want to do.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of like when we did our Ant-Man podcast, we talked about what we think Secret Wars could be. Mm. That's kind of what the Flashpoint will do.
Oh, yeah. That could be good. I think that if they just created a Flashpoint where everything happens, whatever wild, crazy thing that could happen does happen, and it's just the most insane movie, that could be good.
Well, people have been saying The Flash has been insane for months now. James Gunn said it's one of the best effing movies he's ever seen, and most recently Tom Cruise got to see an early screening of it.
Really? What did he say?
And Tom Cruise reportedly asked for a screening of The Flash and loved it, with a source claiming that he called the director to say everything you want in a movie. Tom Cruise said this.
Wow.
It's everything you want in a movie.
The Flash starring Grant Gustin. Fantastic.
Grant Gustin, yes. Yes, maybe he was talking about the season 9 finale.
Finale of the CW Flash.
The CW Flash, you're right. That sounds more accurate. Tom Cruise is totally a CW fan.
We're going to see this, right?
The Flash?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
And hopefully Ben will see that one with us.
When is it coming out? Is it next month?
We'll talk about when we do our Shazam review, but Ben did not want to come opening night to see Shazam.
June 16th. Wow.
He's a fake fan.
Yeah. Ben didn't want to see Shazam too, which surprised me because it is a major DC release.
Right. So something else that's a major release for me and for a lot of Marvel fans, Daredevil Born Again is coming up.
Whoa. When's that coming out?
It's coming out 2024.
Okay.
Later half of next year. But there's been a lot of casting announcement recently. We had John Bernthal's Punisher being announced on the roll call, and we had Deborah Ann Woll and Eldon Henson, who were said to not be returning, but I'm still skeptical. But most recently, we have Vanessa Fisk will be played by Sandrine Holt in Daredevil Born Again. Vanessa was portrayed by Elette Zerrer before in Netflix's Daredevil. So this is a blatant, the first sign of seeing this. It's just a straight up recasting. So it's too early to say what this means. Maybe the original actress wasn't available, but a lot of fans online are freaking out about this. What are you doing? You can't recast Vanessa. Ugh.
I'm just glad John Bernthal's coming back.
Right. Yeah.
That's the one I'm excited for.
I'm happy John Bernthal's coming back, and I am upset at this, but there's not enough given in this article to where we can be mad, right? It's vague enough to where maybe she just wasn't available, and maybe Marvel wanted to recast for some reason. I think she's a pretty big character in the show, but she's just under that threshold to where I think a recast is still acceptable. Now,
it wouldn't be the first time they recasted somebody in even the Daredevil movies. So we've had recasts before. It's just another recast. And unless it directly affects the quality of the show and the movie, then
the main thing that gets people mad is this is another sign that, the Netflix universe is non-canon.
No. It's not going to be canon.
We don't know yet, Micah.
It's not going to be canon.
Don't do that to me.
It can't be canon.
Don't do that to me.
It can't be. The only one that should be canon out of it is the Luke Cage show. Best show.
Really? Did you watch that?
No.
The Luke Cage season 1 was all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
is it worth a watch?
I mean, I'd say what's worth a watch is the 3 seasons of Daredevil you haven't seen, Micah.
Wait, I thought you were going to talk about Defenders or something.
I will defend the Defenders universe.
Okay.
Go watch it. Yeah.
All right.
That's next in your docket. Before you die, Micah, you have to watch the 3 seasons of Daredevil.
I will.
All right? Will you promise me that? You promise me that?
I can't promise anything. What if I die today, Ethan? There's no time.
If you die today, then you'll die a man.
I'll be born again.
Oh, you will?
Daredevil born again.
Hopefully you already are born again.
Oh, I am. All right, what's next? We got Hugh Jackman getting jacked.
Oh,
for Deadpool.
Yes. Every couple days you'll hop on Twitter and you'll see another picture of Hugh Jackman
just
doing something ridiculous.
Oh, he's like, and he's always hashtagging. He's like getting swole for Deadpool. He says specifically, "This is for Deadpool," so I can be Logan.
I can be Logan in Deadpool.
Just every day reminds me.
This is news that pertains only to me. We have to go back. Getting Lost is a documentary that will cover the global phenomenon that changed television forever, as well as devoted fan base that still celebrates the show to this day.
There aren't any fans of Lost.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
I'm right here.
Nobody watches Lost. Get lost, Ethan.
I will admit it is very rare for me to come across a fan of Lost.
You know, my
nowadays.
mom watched Lost.
Did you like it?
She said the last few seasons were confusing and didn't watch it, or didn't like it.
There we go. The documentary will cover people just like her. People who are confused and don't understand.
I remember my mom, she was talking, when it was first coming out, she was watching it live when it was being released every week. And she would, as the weeks went on, she was like, this show is so confusing. And whenever she would talk about it, I would be like, it's what is this? Gilligan's Island? They're just on an island and they're lost. This is so lame. I would watch just little clips of it as she was watching. I was what, 10 at a time.
Yeah,
at the
you
time?
were 10. Okay,
I was
maybe
so
it
young.
was lame to a 10-year-old.
Just people hanging out on an island because the plane crashed.
It's a little more than that.
Just get off.
I'll let,
Get off the island.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get off the island.
Just swim.
That's actually that's a dilemma on the show, Micah.
Oh, okay.
They do try to get off the island.
Why not? Why did they get off? Don't tell me time travel.
That's not why they don't get off.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me about like nuclear codes or something. I bet there's nothing about. There's probably nothing about, I don't know, terrorists and cults and.
Well, there are definitely some touches on cults and terrorism, but
dang it,
it's not thematic elements of the show. Maybe the cult stuff is, but go
if you
watch
had to pick
Lost.
one show for me to watch, Daredevil or Lost?
I'd say Daredevil, just
like
because.
After I watch the show, I die.
Oh.
After I finish the show, and don't say Lost just because it's longer.
What, you want to die after finishing one of these shows?
Hey, if it's the last show I watch
before you die.
Before I die.
Well, I'll say Lost because you can watch Daredevil before you die. Lost you can save till you're on your deathbed and do a straight binge.
Okay.
But Daredevil's more relevant now to discussions we have on this podcast, Micah.
No, you just want me to have some homework. All right.
I want you to have homework. I want you to go watch Daredevil.
How many seasons of Daredevil, or how many hours of Deadpool content is there? Daredevil. Yeah, how many?
Well, there's 39 hour-long episodes.
39 hours? That's crazy, man. I'm not doing that.
That's only like one work week. 1 40-hour work week.
Oh, yeah. Let me just
7 hours a day for 1 week.
Sorry, Bubba. I can't work this week. I have a new full-time job.
I got a real job.
Daredevil just for this week.
Let's roll over to MCU news. So Mark Ruffalo did an interview this week, and the article reads, he went full savage on Thor: Love and Thunder. He said, I have a soft spot for Chris Hemsworth, so I keep waiting for them to invite me back to the franchise so I can save it.
Is that him going savage?
That's him going savage.
Wow.
He's saying
he said that Love and Thunder is trash.
He says Love and Thunder is trash. Yes.
And it needs the Hulk. It needs that terrible digital voice that they gave Hulk in Ragnarok.
You really hate that voice.
Oh man, it was so bad. It sounded like a computer. They should have just had what's his name from the original Hulk movies?
Lou Ferrigno
play Hulk's voice.
So with Hulk's voice being bad, something that's apparently not bad. It's the new Dungeons and Dragons movies.
Is it good?
It is getting overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Oh, that's good.
With comparisons to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow. Okay. That's good stuff.
I believe this
Parker
comes out.
Pogo Donuts, you'll be very happy
Pogo
about
Donuts
this.
will be very happy about this. This comes out next week.
Wow. It's competing with John Wick.
John Wick
4.
Oh boy.
Which one are you going to see first?
I want to see John Wick 4 first.
Have you seen John Wick 3 yet?
No.
No?
I'm going to watch John Wick 3.
You've seen 1 and 2, right?
I've seen 1 and 2. I'm going to watch 3 this week. Get ready.
All
Yeah.
right. What are your thoughts so far?
First one I thought was underwhelming. Second one I really liked.
There you go.
Thought it was fun. I like the more plot and
It's
story.
definitely a movie series that gets better as it goes on, surprisingly. Like you think the movie is reaching peak, but then the peak is reached even more in the next movie. It's crazy. The second one, unbelievably good. Third one, insanely unbelievably good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just you want to see 4 next week?
Yeah, I'll see
All right,
4 with you.
Let's do it.
Forget about it.
John Wick, forget about it.
So Michael Waldron has renewed his overall deal with Disney. If you don't know who Michael Waldron is, he is the guy who wrote Loki, he wrote Multiverse of Madness, and he is writing Secret Wars for Marvel. So I don't know. People were very mad about this. After you do a hit like Loki, but then you do something like Multiverse of Madness, which is very divisive, people automatically decide everything you do is hot trash. The same thing we see is happening with Jeff Loveness, who did Ant-Man Quantumania. He's also doing Kane Dynasty. So you got any thoughts on Michael Waldron reworking his deal?
Can't wait to see what he does.
Right.
So is he in charge of any new things yet, or do we not know?
He's doing Secret Wars.
He is doing Secret
Writing
Wars.
Secret Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was. Who's doing Loki season 2?
I believe he's doing Loki season 2 also.
Okay. Well,
And
as long as he's doing what he's good at, then I'm excited.
With that, Loki season 2, so something that's very sad, the release window on Disney Plus for Loki season 2 has said summer 2023, but they've now taken that off, and all it says is coming soon, ...
Okay.
So we have no idea when to expect Loki now, because I would have figured by now, it's March, we would have already gotten Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is next on the docket for Marvel Studios, and we still have heard nothing about that. So for Loki fans, this is very sad.
When are we going to hear anything about Kraven the Hunter? That's my thing I want to see. October 6th, 2023. We have nothing. Not even a picture, not even a costume, not even anything.
I don't have anything on Kraven the Hunter, but how about El Muerto?
El Muerto.
I have an update on El Muerto.
You do?
Sony's El Muerto is reportedly very unlikely to make its July 12th, 2024 release window.
Never would have thought.
Never would have thought. El Muerto.
You mean the guy based on 2 pages of a comic book from one issue back in
Spider-Man?
Yeah, of Spider-Man.
His movie's getting delayed? Are you kidding me? All that source material?
Wow.
Something else. So Marvel Studios, they've been trying to cast the Fantastic Four for a while. They came out and said they were looking for a Jewish actor to play Ben Grimm / The Thing in the Fantastic Four film. And this is because the character in the comics is Jewish. But you wouldn't know that if all you've seen are the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. I wouldn't have gotten that if because we've seen 3 movies? No, 2. We've seen Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in our Marvel watch through. They don't say anything about him being Jewish. There's no sort of religious context at all.
Right. And
you said The Thing, right?
The Thing, Ben Grimm.
The Thing is...
The Ben Grimm is Jewish. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with this?
I mean...
No.
More character development is better than nothing. Right now, we haven't gotten much from Fantastic Four.
His character development becomes Thing has to date blind woman.
Yeah, it's
to be loved.
Yeah, there has to be any sort of character depth at all, and getting some religious context might help to give that to him.
Speaking of character development and character depth, what are your thoughts on Hayden Christensen's Anakin?
I mean, there are some bad parts, right? But overall, I think that he plays an awkward teenager very awkwardly.
Okay,
very well.
Awkward, yes.
Yeah.
So Hayden Christensen recently praised the Clone Wars and Dave Filoni's writing of Anakin. He says, I think that Dave Filoni did Clone Wars or what he did with Clone Wars and Rebels are brilliant. I'm indebted to Dave Filoni because I think he helped the character of Anakin a lot.
Nice.
And I have to say, yeah, he did. He helped Anakin a ton. I'd say why Anakin is looked on so fondly by a lot of fans is because of the character work that Dave Filoni was able to do with Clone Wars. And he's not as much in Rebels, but there are some really cool sequences of Darth Vader in Rebels.
Yeah.
But you've seen all of Clone Wars and Rebels, right?
I have seen all of Clone Wars and Rebels. I have not seen any Resistance. That's my only...
You've resisted the urge.
I resisted the urge to watch... Is that canon? I think it's canon. I don't care enough to watch if it is canon. But I think that Anakin is one of the better written characters in the Clone Wars show.
For sure. Him and Ahsoka
and Obi-Wan and Bo-Katan and
Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a character that isn't written well. They even give Jar Jar some stuff.
They give Jar Jar a girlfriend.
They give Jar Jar like 3 full episodes.
Yes. Oh, they give him more than 3. They
3,
have
5, something like that.
Oh, I don't even want to.
I like
think
the one where it
it
implies that he's the reason why the Empire took over. Because they imply it in the 3rd episode too, or in Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. They imply that Jar Jar is the reason why, because he took Padme's position in the Senate. He's the deciding vote. He's the reason why the Emperor Palpatine took control.
Good. We need more Jar Jar in our life.
We do need more Jar Jar. You know what else wrapped up this week show-wise?
What?
The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
That was this past week.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. Very good show. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Recommend. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we... excuse me. We got some news this week about Last of Us Season 2 and 3. That season 2 and 3 will be based on a minimum of 3 seasons, because they said Last of Us Part 2, the game, will cover multiple seasons. So it could be 2 seasons more, it could be 3 seasons more, whatever it'll take. And I'm excited. Did you finish Last of Us?
No.
I recommend it.
4 episodes behind.
Ooh.
I've got a lot of story left that I have to consume. And me, you and Brandon famously started doing podcasts on The Last of Us, and more famously stopped doing podcasts on The Last of Us.
On a specific episode. But yeah, they said that for season 2, there is a time jump to Last of Us Part 2, and Bella Ramsey will not be recast so long as she wants to keep playing the role of Ellie.
She's old enough, I think. She's
old enough. She's 20, like 21 or 22.
20-something, yeah.
Yeah, and in the game, there's a time jump of 5-ish years, so they're going to have to age up Ellie a little bit, and Joel for sure. But most of the show, or most of Last of Us Part 2, a good quarter of it is flashbacks to when they're traveling to Oregon. Or Washington State, or wherever it is. I forget. Wyoming? I don't know. Well, I'm excited for Last of Us Season 2. It got great reviews for Season 1. There's a steelbook coming out, which I'm totally going to get. And yeah, that's about all I got for Last of Us.
So as a Last of Us video game fan, you recommend the show?
Yes. So they said for Last of Us Season 2 that it will follow... They're going to treat season 2 just the same as they did for season 1. So they're going to adapt some things. They're going to take some liberties. They're going to change some things, just like how they did with the first season. They added episode 3 in the first season where it's not in the game at all. They added things with Ellie's mom in episode 9. Spoiler alert. That's about it. I mean, there's some things that they'll confirm and deny, and all these fan theories. There were a lot of fan theories in season 1 that were confirmed or denied through the storytelling. And I thought that was really cool that they added that stuff. And I hope that they continue it for season 2. I hope that we get to see things that we didn't see in the game, just like how we did in season 1. Yeah, it'll be great.
Cool. Yeah, I have to watch that. I've enjoyed what I've seen.
You know what other show we got this week?
What did we get this week?
Mando season 3. And you have not seen all of Mando season 3 because this was, if you had one use of Snooze Fest to use in this podcast, would you use it here?
If I had one use of Snooze Fest?
Yeah.
Define one use of Snooze Fest.
Well, Snooze Fest is when you sleep during the middle of an episode. And I got to say, we were talking before this podcast, and we both admitted to watching 20 minutes of this episode and then taking a nap.
Well, I didn't try to take a nap. I had woken up and I had fallen asleep.
So would you say this episode was a snooze fest?
I have not seen it. I would say that when I sat down to watch it, I was tired.
After the snooze fest, 20 minutes in. So after 20 minutes in, I'd say it picks up. It's pretty cool. There isn't any real action in this episode. But what they do is they dive deep into the empirical scientists and staff that were part of Moff Gideon's crew and just Star Destroyers and all these things, and how they're being, what's the word? Adapted back into normal life. I forget, accustomed to, it's just like they're prisoners of war being used in the New Republic now. And we get to see some cool stuff with mind flayers that we saw in
the mind flare from Stranger Things.
Andor. Remember how they use it in Andor? Or was it in Andor? The like helmet thing. Was that a mind flayer too? Do you remember Andor, the screaming thing that they put on the headphones?
Yeah. I don't remember what they called it.
I don't know. It reminded me of that. They used that at the end of the episode.
What I did see did remind me of Andor.
It was a very Andor-like episode.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate. Yeah. It wasn't a Mandalorian episode, I'd say. It was definitely more like an Andor episode.
Star Wars.
It was Star Wars.
Still Star Wars.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of Coruscant, and that's awesome. We get to see the highest peak in Coruscant, the only surface you can see of the planet. That was pretty sick. We get to see a Star Destroyer for the first time, not in space. It's landed. We haven't seen a Star Destroyer in live action like that before. It's pretty sick.
All right, with that, Micah, do you want to roll into Shazam 2? Shazam, Fury of the Gods?
10 out of 10 movie.
10 out of 10 movie. Micah, before we start diving spoilers, for anyone who is still listening, do you want to give your brief, non-spoiler, summarize the movie in a few sentence review?
If you've seen the first Shazam, you'll like this one. If you've seen Black Adam and you like that one, you'll like this one too. There's a lot. It's just an all-around fun movie. Great action, great DC references, great use of superpowers, great emotional ending. There's not much to not like about this movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little less positive. I'd say definitely if you liked Shazam 1, you will probably enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi is very funny in the role of Shazam, and the cast that surrounds him is fun. It lets me down
rough in the beginning.
It lets me down a little in some areas, but we're gonna dive into that. I'd say I'd recommend go see this if you liked the first one. If you didn't like the first Shazam, if you didn't like Black Adam, there's really no reason for you to see this, especially with the DC reset coming up, which we'll talk about. But yeah,
I'd say if you didn't like Black Adam, you might still like this movie. It is a bit different. It uses the same. If you like the superpowers in Black Adam, then you'll like this movie. If you like the comedy and powers from Shazam 1, then you'll like this movie too. So they do a good job of also tons of exposition in this movie.
right. Yeah.
There's almost no reason to watch the first movie.
You
it's
really
fun.
don't.
It's fun to watch the first movie. It was a good movie.
Even the main elements of this movie that roll over from the first movie, they reaffirm, oh yes, this was in the first movie and this is
The most important parts, they actually play the footage from the first movie.
yes. So
Of him breaking the staff on his knee in that carnival thing.
go see it if you want to see it, and if you don't want to see it, don't go see it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple.
It's your money. You can
Your
spend it how
money,
you want.
your money, your time.
Definitely not a must watch.
No.
There's nothing in it. There's no post-credit scene that would make you say, oh, I'm gonna be invested in this next 2 movies that could potentially
I think one movie with
one
the Flash.
movie that he could potentially be a part of, and potentially one show. Because do you want to get into spoilers?
So yes, we're gonna jump into spoilers right now. Go ahead, Micah. Where's
What's
it
the
leading?
point in being invested in this if we know it's going to end in 2 production things? Because the post-credit scene, we see the villain from the first movie, and he's in prison, and there's this caterpillar dude named Mr. Mind.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a huge character in the comics.
Right.
I don't know anything
He
about
was
him.
he was in the first Shazam movie too.
He was. I remember that now. Yeah, so he was in Shazam 1, and he is kind of menacing. I don't know. He makes a joke about how he walks really slow because he's a caterpillar and can't go very fast. Yeah, he's a caterpillar with a voice box. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's funny.
Who would have thought that?
Like Doug.
Exactly like Doug. And if you had to say that you were expecting this, were you expecting Mr. Mind to make an appearance?
No.
No.
Unexpected.
Wow.
Surprise. Shock twist.
What was your favorite part of this movie? Favorite like
I like leading up to the release of this movie, DC very heavily marketed that Wonder Woman would be in this film. Right.
I missed that completely.
Micah, you missed that. You
I went
dog.
into this movie pretty much blind.
They threw that right in our faces, and I saw that and I was like, okay, that must be like in the middle of the movie, they kind of count Wonder Woman and it's really fun. Dude, that's the climax of the movie.
Yeah, the trailers show everything from this movie.
She resurrects Shazam from the dead with her god powers. How stupid is that?
So now instead of Shazam being powered by I think it was the Greek gods. Or no, he is. Yeah, Zeus.
Zeus, famously from Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
With his lightning bolt and skirt.
Yeah, the same Zeus is now powering Shazam.
The multiverse collides.
It was a strange ending, but if you don't think about it too much, I think it was just a whatever, fine, brainless movie.
Whatever, fine. But my favorite part was when, because I had that linger in my mind. I knew Wonder Woman would show up. But like, I really liked his sacrifice. And when he's trapped outside the globe and his hands up, he's like, I'm going to do it for my family, my Shazamly.
Family.
It's all about Shazam, Fast and Fury of the gods.
I'm sure you've seen the trailer millions of times in theaters where he says, I've seen all the Fast and Furious movies and I know it's all about family.
Family.
That part got really annoying.
Guys.
I'd probably seen that trailer 10 times.
That's your cute family.
They pushed this movie pretty hard.
They
Trailers
did.
were in everything.
They did. And I mean, I thought it delivered on what the trailers promised.
Oh, definitely.
But
the trailers were just everything that the movie had.
right. And it was like, I loved the sequence of him sacrificing himself and the music that's going as he drives a staff into the dragon and the dragon dies. I really like that.
The dragon was pretty cool.
The dragon was cool.
I like the concept of where he emanates fear from everything and it freezes the person.
Yeah.
And Freddy, that's Shazam's friend,
Brother.
Foster brother.
Foster brother.
He had the courage and the willpower to beat that fear to save the girlfriend dude, Ethan's celebrity crush. And
Rachel Zegler, yes. Maybe less of a celebrity crush after this movie.
And then when he was being interrogated by the gods, he was able to resist them too.
Right.
So he had this really strong willpower. That was cool to see too.
Yeah, so I liked the idea of him sacrificing himself, but I would have preferred it if he stayed dead, honestly. But him not dying kind of leans me towards, Shazam will be a part of this new James Gunn universe.
Why would they revive him if not?
They revive him and that post-credit scene of him joining the Justice Society. I think all of that points to we can probably see Zachary Levi in more. And Brandon Davis, who we love from comicbook.com and the Phase Zero podcast, he tweeted, "What's the point of any of this if it leads to nowhere?" And then Zachary Levi responded to his tweet. He's like, don't say that. We don't know if it doesn't lead.
Yeah, we don't know that yet, wink, wink.
So even Zachary Levi doesn't know where these characters are going and what James Gunn's plan is. But
Zachary Levi just wants the checks to keep rolling in.
Right.
So he's gonna.
We all do. I think he's a fun character. I leaned over to you in the theater, in the packed theater we saw this.
Packed theater.
So we saw this opening night in Sandwich, Illinois, and it was me, Micah, and a very empty theater.
A trashy. The seat next to us was full of garbage.
Full of trash from the previous showing. They didn't even bother cleaning it. But
we got a private screening.
We did. It was literally just me and you.
It cost $9.
$9 private screening. That's what I'm saying, Mike. A Sandwich is a place to go.
Wow. They changed out their projectors, so now I'll be going there.
Good.
My favorite part about the movie, though, I have two favorite spots, and that not having to do with any of the action or anything. It was the whole arc where they're trying to figure out names. And he's trying to figure out, what's my superhero name? I can't think of one. And he's fighting the dragon, and he's in the middle of the street, and there's these people on the side of the road, and they're like, yo, this name or this name. And then one guy says Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. And if you guys don't know, that was Shazam's original comic book name from the early days. It was Captain Marvel. And I thought that was a cool little nod. And then my second favorite part was when he's the post-credit scene, when he's approached by the guys from the Justice Society, and he says, "What? It's kind of confusing when you got a Justice League and a Justice Society because they're very similar names. Here, let me pull it up on thesaurus.com real quick. Oh, we got tons of names. We got Vengeance Society, or we have whatever, and then the Avengers Society.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
I like that one for some reason.
I like that one. Yeah, it's very meta, and I leaned over to you in our packed theater and said this
very loudly because we could just talk at normal volume.
Yell,
it doesn't matter.
I was like, Zachary Levi plays dumb grown-up kids so well.
Oh yeah,
like no part of watching Shazam do you forget that's just a child.
The other girl too plays. Let me pull it up real quick. What's this movie called? Shazam.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, Shazam. The one girl, the African American girl. I don't know her name at all, but she did an awesome good job playing a girl too, a little girl.
Yeah, this girl did a good job of playing a girl.
Yeah,
good job.
I meant like you know what I mean.
The actress playing,
the actress playing the adult version did a very great job portraying a little girl.
Yeah,
all the little mannerisms, all the little excitedness over little things. It was great. I like the pen. What was his name? Steve the pen. That would just write.
That was funny. Yeah,
that was funny.
They had some good funny bits.
The pen just shrug?
Yeah, they had some funny bits in this movie. I really enjoyed it, and it was pretty down to earth. It was pretty fun.
Very comical movie at the same time, though.
Yeah, it was.
In a way that it wasn't taking itself seriously at all. Not at all. All right, I'll take that back. It took itself seriously enough where we could forgive the comical aspects of it. Like, they bring the main antagonist to the Eternal Stone or whatever it's called, their lair, and then lock her up in just some normal prison. And
forgetting that she has superpowers.
Yeah, and she just fries the lock and leaves and gets the apple that is the tree of life seed and then plants it in the Philadelphia Phillies stadium. Like, what? They took no precaution.
Right. It was
kids.
It's a very
kids.
dumb movie, but I think like
It fits 'cause they're kids.
the movie knew that it was dumb at some points. I think
It wasn't dumb like Morbius. It was dumb because they're high schoolers and middle schoolers, and they're supposed to be dumb because that's how they have to be written because they're kids.
Yeah, I do think some of the writing lets it down a lot when it comes to the characters, and especially the villains. The Daughters of Atlas?
Yeah, the Daughters of Atlas.
But basically, all three of them fall really flat for me. They don't really.
Not even Rachel Zegler?
No, yeah, not even her.
Wow.
She falls in love way too easily to kind of heel turn the movie. I don't know, Micah.
Her name is Anthea in the movie.
Yeah,
I think that
Anne.
Anne for short. We're introduced to her in the hallway on the first day of the first day she's at school there, and we have Freddie who's getting bullied in the hallway, and I think that's one of the better portrayals I've seen of some high school bullies just trying to win a girl's love and it falls flat, because nothing about what they're doing to Freddie is attractive in any way to the girl, and you can tell.
Yeah, what do they think they're doing?
They think that they're flirting, and they're like,
up.
"Yeah, this is so cool."
Stupid idiot with a cane.
Stupid cripple kid. They're like, what? Nothing about that is cool, and they recognize that in the movie. I thought at first that Anthea was going to fall for these bully kids, but she doesn't, and she falls for Freddie, and it was sweet. It was sweet. I liked it.
You liked Freddie and Anne?
Yeah, I think you didn't like it because you just wanted to be with her. But
are you kidding me?
That's just me.
I was jealous of Freddie. That's your theory?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty good theory, Micah. Yeah,
just a film theory.
A film
theory.
Negatives. What didn't you like about this movie?
I didn't like how long they took to establish the main plot. So they do a great job of showing the family aspect of the team and that it is a struggle. They introduce that very early on, and that's a great point. But they don't move on quickly enough for me. They have some cool moments where they have Shazam coaching the rest of the team. That's cool. They show a little bit of the real world. They have responsibilities beyond being a superhero sort of stuff. And that's cool. They just don't, I don't know. They don't have, the stakes aren't introduced early enough on, I think.
And the stakes being what? Philadelphia?
Yeah. If we spent more time in the world so the tree of life grows and then all of these Greek mythical beasts are born from the tree and are just terrorizing Philadelphia. I think if we stayed in that world longer, that would have been cool. If that tree was planted early on, and this is they're
like living, zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, they're living in this
movie.
Zombie. Talk about your thoughts at the beginning. So we're in the museum. You said it to me.
Right, yeah, and the Daughters of Atlas come in and they're whispering into these guys' ears and they become mind controlled. I was like, oh, is this going to be a zombie-esque movie? I think that would have been a cool movie. That would have been a cool movie, and especially like I really appreciate all the CGI creatures and what they do at the end of this movie. But by the time we get there, and I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, they're going to resolve this pretty quickly. It's not going to amount to anything.
They did almost nothing with the mind control stuff.
Right.
After that museum scene, we don't see it again until Freddy's being interrogated, and we see that Freddy can resist it. And that's about it. It would have been super cool if we got, if the world was just taken over by mind control. That would have been the way to do it. And that would have been
fun
made it
too.
a much more interesting movie. And you could say, okay, the Shazam people cannot be mind controlled, and they're the only ones who can stop it, or something like that. That would have been a completely different movie, but it would have been an interesting movie nonetheless.
Yeah, I also really would have loved to spend more time with these characters as kids.
Definitely.
I think the kids are really what sell the family aspect of this movie. When they're full-grown, very beautiful-looking adults, it's like, oh, okay,
Kids
whatever.
are expensive to record, though.
When they're awkward little kids, though, I really like that. And I think not that I have a problem with Zachary Levi as the star, because he's the main character of this movie, but by the time you get to see his in his kid form, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. It was like 30 minutes into the movie when I realized that Freddy wasn't Shazam.
Yeah.
That's when I remembered that. I was like, oh yeah, wait, they're different characters.
You see Freddy, or you see, what's his name? Billy Batson. That's the guy who plays main Shazam, Zachary Levi's kid form. You see him maybe twice in the movie. You see him in the house at the beginning. Oh no, 3 times. You see him at the school, and then you see him at the end, and that's the trailer footage where he goes Shazam, and then he has that weird look on his face where he's like clenching his face closed.
Right.
That one. You know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the trailer a million times like I have, not because you want to, just because it's been before every movie.
It's been shoved in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd time you see him, pretty much. Oh, and then at the end when he's dead.
Yeah, I still can't get over that. I would have, superhero movies don't do this enough, just killing characters. Like Ant-Man 3, we really thought, oh, maybe they're going to do the Scott Lang, and they didn't. And it kind of felt upsetting. Not that we're mad about it, but this one, I really felt like you let me down because you did kill him. You did bury him. But then Wonder Woman's like, heck nah, dude. I'll resurrect you. Can she do that with everyone? Can she resurrect anyone?
No, I don't think so.
I don't-
She had the magic staff, though.
She had the magic staff.
And that with the power of Zeus, she was able to resurrect him. One thing I did like about this movie, though, is they commit to everyone losing their powers so that it forces Shazam
Yeah, right.
to sacrifice. That was a cool aspect.
was cool. I
so
like
they get
that.
rid of everyone's powers one by one, and a majority of this movie, Freddie Freeman, the cripple guy, he doesn't have his powers, and he has to prove to himself, because that's his character arc, and that was an awesome character arc, where he relies on his powers because he doesn't have full use of his body.
Captain Every Power.
Yeah, he wanted to. He finds validation in his superhero-ness, and to take that away was humbling for him. Same thing for Shazam. He found he wanted to be a team leader, and throughout the movie, he grew to be that team leader. He wanted to bring the family together, and then how did the story resolve? By soloing it out, and that was a cool finale.
I did. I liked how they.
I like the character arcs in this movie. They're very well written.
I liked how they took him as a family man. You know, all for one, or what's their motto? All for one, none for whatever. Like family.
None for. One for, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, family. Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious. I did like that because when the
this
movie
separates the bad movies from the good movies.
This movie does.
I think this is a good movie.
Okay.
I think that.
I lean more positive towards this movie.
Definitely more
than
positive.
Negative.
This is, you can tell when they, you'll see on Monday, fellow listeners, what a bad movie is.
Or a good movie.
Yeah, you can.
Ghost Rider Spirit of
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Sorry. A good movie.
We don't know yet.
You can tell when a movie has heart. This movie, would you say this movie has heart?
There is heart. Yeah, for sure. There's heart in it. And I enjoyed my time watching it. I think it's slow at some points. Some parts don't really get explained, but I do like the Hall of Doors. Very
that was cool.
Monsters Inc-esque. You know, these doors you just open and they go to different universes. And I like the chemistry that the cast has.
You know what? The guy who wrote Shazam wrote Earth to Echo. That was a good movie. Did you see that movie?
I did not see Earth to Echo.
Earth to Echo was a great movie. And no way. You know who else wrote this movie? Chris Morgan. Do you know Chris Morgan?
No, explain.
All the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
why they were able to say. Okay, that makes sense.
Good work, Chris Morgan.
All right, and then Bill Parker, he's the other guy, and he wrote Black Adam. He wrote the Shazam movies. He wrote the Shazam TV show, or no, one episode of the Shazam TV show. Sorry.
Or is that a TV movie?
TV show. He wrote one episode from the 74 Shazam movie or show. And then, so he's written, just Shazam stuff pretty much. So they had a great team of writers behind this. And it shows. It shows that they cared.
Better or worse than Black Adam?
Better.
Easily.
Because
yes.
So it has the same level of action for me as Black Adam, not quite to the extent from the beginning. You know how in Black Adam they had that cool explodey nonsense that was going on. I think that they almost get there in Shazam 2, where there's this huge destruction and great God versus God duking out. That was cool. But overall, this is a better movie than Black Adam.
Yeah, I agree. And
just because of the story aspect, that was the part that was falling for me for Black Adam, was they didn't have the same level of character development that they do in this movie, because they're juggling all these characters that are Shazams, and sure, they only really have arcs for 2 of them, maybe 3, but they do a stellar job resolving them.
Right, and I'd say Black Adam, there wasn't really anything for me to jump and grab onto.
No.
Like The Rock was very The Rock throughout that movie. Like,
I disagree. I think that he was very good in Black Adam as not being The Rock. I was paying attention to that.
but he's very one note as Black Adam.
He's one note.
Very
he's
one
either
note.
The Rock or not The Rock, and he has his not The Rock acting that he's very well known for.
He was very much like, all right, let me kill people. Oh wait, maybe I shouldn't kill people. Maybe I'm an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Movie's over. Oh, look, there's Superman. Wow. You know, this movie I did enjoy a lot more than Black Adam. I had a fun time with it. I thought
I like the dream sequence in Paris.
Yes, with Wonder Woman.
Shazam is on a date with Wonder Woman, and he's like, I just don't think this is gonna work out, because you're just God, and I thought this would work out. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's seal it with a kiss. And then he goes in for the kiss, and it's the wizard.
Turns into the wizard. Yeah,
he's like, what are you doing here? And the whole time we don't know it's a dream. It totally could have been him in Paris, and the wizard places his face over Wonder Woman's face. I would have liked to believe that. That
you would have liked to believe
me.
he was actually on a date.
Yeah, with Wonder Woman.
I think with that setup, though, it pays off that Wonder Woman's in the film.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman obsession throughout the movie is hilarious.
It totally pays off that she's at the end. I just really didn't like how they did it. Like, I would have liked her to just show up as a fun little, like, after everything's been resolved, like, oh, here's Wonder Woman. We were talking about her all film. Here she is. But she really is the not the climax, but she resurrects Shazam.
Yeah.
She has a big role in this movie, and it didn't work for me. It's like, that was a great sacrifice. I really loved. That would be like Tony Stark. All right, I'm not comparing Shazam sacrificing himself to Tony Stark, but I'm drawing these two comparisons. So it's like Tony Stark snaps, right?
Yeah.
And then Steve Rogers or something is like, nah, dude, we got the time stone. Let me save you. It just wouldn't work.
No resurrections this time.
Yeah, no resurrections this time. Favorite character, Micah?
Favorite character? I really liked Freddy. I really loved his character arc.
Actor. Plays him.
Actor. He is... let me change tabs real quick.
I know he's from It. He's from the first
Jack
Shazam.
Dylan Grazer. Yeah, he's in It. You showed me the picture of him in It. He's so young.
He's a little boy in
Him
it.
and Finn Wolfhard have grown so much.
They have.
So Jack Dylan Grazer did an excellent job. He's written so well. I already talked about his character arc. I'm not going to say it again, but it was just... You don't see good, humbling character arcs like that anymore. And it was a great touch.
Cool. Yeah, I like
Favorite
that.
character for you?
I'll go Zachary Levi.
Okay.
Shazam.
Not Asher Angel, who plays Billy Batson. Who we see maybe 5 minutes
We
of.
see him like 2 times. We don't see him enough. And I like Zachary Levi has a lot of quips and charm, and I think he's just a fun guy on and off the screen. I enjoy his presence.
My favorite quip that you had in the movie was when it showed the foster parents for the first time, and you're like, "Oh, he married up, didn't he?"
He married up. Shout out to Jerry from the TWD. And who's the actress that plays
Cooper Andrews, Victor Vasquez, and Marta Milans as Rosa Vasquez.
Yeah,
I think they did it. It was they kind of felt like just the the kids movie, Mom and Pop.
They did, like Disney Channel
they felt
parents.
very Disney, and it was all right.
It's fine. It worked for the movie.
Yeah, they didn't need to be anything more.
I wouldn't want that in any other movie, but Shazam, it worked.
Yeah, it works. One thing that caught me by surprise is they just killed the principal for no reason. Remember when they were on the roof and what's her name? Calypso mind controls the principal, and he just walks
jumps.
off. Yeah, they just kill him, and there's nothing after that.
There are notes of a darker movie in here. For sure.
They could have taken this way darker. Freddy could have been completely changed by that suicide that he just saw, but they don't show it after that. I like the flaming violin.
The flaming violin.
Oh man,
that was funny.
They get Calypso to look at the flaming violin. They're like, huh? What is that over there? And that's how they make their big escape, because they distract him once. And then later in the movie, she's on the dragon and facing Freddy and Anthea, and they're about to die. And then Shazam picks up the dragon's tail and is like, look over here, sort of thing, talking to Calypso. And he's like, no, Freddy, don't do that. And then it pans over to Freddy and Anthea, and they're just standing there kind of confused. And then that's when Shazam makes his move, and he's like, man, I got you twice. You fell for that stupid distraction thing. That was so funny. Oh man, that was the best joke in the whole movie.
That was that is your favorite clip of the movie?
I thought that was really funny. It was fresh. It was a fresh joke. I hadn't seen something like that before.
Right. And I thought the pen was funny too, where they're like, no, we don't need to proofread this. Just send it out.
It was like Deadpool level humor.
Okay.
But none of the raunchiness of it.
Right.
Did you get that vibe?
I did. I liked the humor in this.
You wouldn't expect this in a serious.
It was funny,
movie.
but it never really like crossed the line of being too overtly sexual.
Yeah, not as well. I don't think it was sexual really.
No, not at all. Yeah,
there may have been one or two jokes in there, but I don't remember them.
It's very tame.
Yeah,
tame humor.
It was fun for the whole family.
It's a good family movie.
Yeah,
I'd say. You can bring your kids to see this.
Vulgarity in it, not like crazy, but they do drop a couple bad words if you're gonna bring the kiddos to it. But overall, I mean, it's a great movie.
Yeah, how many Shazam lightning bolts out of 10?
How many Shazam lightning bolts out of 10? Let me look at my Marvel Ultimate spreadsheet here.
No,
let me see where
we're not throwing this on the ranking.
So I know. I would watch this again. I would say, while it wasn't as good as something like a Thor or an Iron Man, it wasn't iconic. Right.
I heard Jeremy Johns is a YouTube reviewer I watch a ton. I love his stuff, but he said in a very crowded genre, this movie doesn't really stand out. So I'd agree with that.
I'd say it was like a 7.5.
7 out of, yeah. I'd give it 7 lightning bolts out of 10.
7, yeah, okay,
yeah.
It was a good movie. There were some good things. Yeah. I would say it ranks at same level as like Spider-Man 3. Where there's some good stuff, there's some bad stuff, but overall, it's just positive experience.
Yeah, I did like the bit where the whole movie he's trying to figure out what the heck is my name?
Yeah.
What the heck is my name? And he asks the wizard at the end, what's my name? And he goes, Shazam. They're like, oh.
Like you didn't know your name was Shazam the whole time?
Which is a fair question, though, because Black Adam also says Shazam. Mm-hmm. Black Adam's name isn't Shazam.
And they all say Shazam to get their powers.
They all say Shazam.
So why wouldn't they all be called Shazam? I don't know. Oh, they also revealed what the purpose of, like what the name Shazam meant, and it was the different gods. So there's the wisdom of Solomon, the something of
Saruman.
Yeah. I got the wisdom of Saruman. Okay.
No, there were like, it was. Yeah, now thinking about it again, it was a very funny movie. I did laugh at a lot of the bits. Bits and jokes were really good.
There weren't many jokes. I can't think of any jokes that didn't land. Unlike a certain Thor movie,
right? And we'll not
I didn't love. And there was no thunder.
Everything to Love and Thunder. It's definitely not as a.
Would you say that this superhero has a better use of electricity than Thor and Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yes, and Thor and Love and Thunder. Yeah,
there's more love and more thunder in this movie.
There's more love and thunder put into this movie than Thor, for sure. Mike, you got anything else to say about Shazam?
Oh, Shazam. Go watch it.
Go watch Shazam.
Support these movies. Watch it 3 times.
Support these small indie films.
Yeah, these small indie DC films. This is a studio that's going under, and we gotta bring them back up.
Save DC
Yeah,
studios.
we gotta save DC.
Why should they support this, Micah?
Why should?
Yeah.
Why should? Because we need more movies like this. We need more movies that aren't just about.
We need more dumb superhero movies.
That aren't like. I can see DC going in a direction that isn't family friendly.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, with Peacemaker, with the Harley Quinn
Squad
show, with the Suicide Squad. They're not very family appropriate, and this one is a better step in the right direction. Sure, there are still swear words. It's not a PG movie, but overall, it's a fun movie for the whole family that you don't have to worry about. Okay, we got to turn this off. We can't watch this anymore. And I really hope that DC doesn't just cover the family side of, or doesn't just cover the adult side of comic books. There's room for everything.
Room for everything. Yeah.
We see that in Marvel. They have Deadpool alongside the MCU. And we can see kind of the opposite with DC, where we have Shazam alongside the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I do think there is a future for Shazam with them resurrecting him at the end of this film and the post-credits scene. I think it's leading to him being involved in James Gunn's universe.
I'm sure they hate that Shazam is doing so well because it is their most Marvel kind of movie.
It is very Marvel.
It is very Marvel, but it's Marvel in the best ways.
I'd say, like, as far as Marvel humor goes, this movie did Marvel humor better than Marvel does Marvel humor.
Yeah,
this movie definitely was actually funny. Yeah,
it was. The humor was kind of on the level. No, not kind of better than our last DC movie that we watched. Do you recall what that movie was?
Shazam.
Oh, I guess Black Adam. Before Black Adam.
Oh, right.
DC League of Super Pets.
Oh, DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah, it had that same sort of meta aspect to it, where they would reference these huge things, and the audience was just supposed to know about it. It was great.
I like meta stupidity. It's fun.
It was great
for sure. Yeah. So
overall, did you give it a ranking out of 10? Lightning bolts.
Yeah, seven lightning bolts.
7
out of 10.
lightning bolts. All right.
7 Shazam gods out of 10.
Would you want to see more of the Shazam universe?
I would want to see more.
Would you be sad?
I think I want to see more of Shazam as a character and his family. I don't really care about the universe, but I like his family and the dynamic there. Would I be upset? Is that what you're going to ask me?
Yeah. Would you be upset if they didn't continue the Zachary Levi Shazam verse?
I'm not invested enough to where I'd be upset, but if I get to see the character again, I'd be very happy. That'd be very cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this has been our review of Shazam. Micah, as far as what's coming up for our podcast, what's coming Monday?
We've got Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance coming on Monday next week. Even bigger, but you got to watch Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
You got to go watch this movie leading into next week to make it worth it.
It's important. The Avengers next week
next Monday
directly
is
tied
Avengers.
to Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance somehow, just because came out the same year. Yeah, that's all I got.
Do you have any tease for Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance? What people can be ready for?
Yeah, Heimdall's in it.
Heimdall. Is he
not
in it?
Real Heimdall.
Oh, yes. Idris Elba. Yes.
Yeah, he's in it. Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 himself.
Yes, more iconically as Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog
2.
Who
wasn't in the first one.
Right. Because I watched the first one. Did I watch that with you?
No, you watched the first one by yourself. I have not seen the second one yet, but it's on that shelf right there.
Well, 4K, why don't we pop that in right now?
Do we have time?
We don't have time. We have to go. All right. Live commentary track for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 coming at some point. We forgot to talk about the product placement in Shazam, remember? The
Skittles. Yes. They would eat Skittles throughout this movie, and then when they revealed that unicorns are the strongest thing in the universe.
We didn't even mention the unicorns. Yeah. Unicorn bit was fun.
That wasn't in the trailers at all, at least what I saw. That was pretty sick. You never knew, you didn't know what was going to happen there. And the little girl calls the unicorn over, and the unicorn is stampeding her. And then she throws all these Skittles out, and the unicorn stops.
Man, Skittles must have paid a ton.
She's like, I don't have any ambrosia, but I do have Skittles, and it's the next closest thing.
Taste the rainbow.
Sure, taste the rainbow. They said that twice. Taste the MF rainbow. She said, on the horse.
Oh, right.
The little kid.
It gets blocked off, though, right?
It does.
Right.
It doesn't leave much to the imagination, but it does.
It does not. You can tell what she said on that horse, but Micah, I think we're done here. All right. This has been our news week and our review of Shazam. Hopefully, if you made it this far, give us a like, give us a subscription, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Spotify, you can leave star reviews, or there's a new Q&A that we just learned about. Fill that out. I don't know what that will lead to, but definitely check that out. I'm Ethan Wetzloff.
I'm Micah Head.
And we'll see you in another multiverse.